Chosen one, I need to ask you something. And I need you to be honest. Not with me. With yourself. When was the last time someone said, "Why do you care so much?" When was the last time you heard, "You're too sensitive. You're too emotional. You feel too much. You think too much. You take things too personally. You cry too easily. You love too hard. You get too attached. You care too deeply." How many times have you heard that? 10 times? 50 times? 100 times? From parents? From friends? From partners? From strangers who didn't even know you but felt qualified to diagnose you? And every single time, a part of you believed them. A part of you thought, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm too much. Maybe there's something wrong with the way I'm wired. Maybe normal people don't feel like this. Maybe I should learn to numb it. Learn to shut it down. Learn to be like everyone else. Cold. Detached. Unbothered. And you tried. God knows you tried. You built walls. You practiced indifference. You learned to say I'm fine when you were dying inside. You mastered the art of smiling through pain. You got so good at pretending nothing touched you that people started believing it. Even you started believing it. For a while. Until something would happen. A song. A memory. A stranger's story. A child's laugh. And suddenly, all those walls you built came crashing down. Because you can't numb what God designed to be alive. You can't shut down what heaven wired to be open. You can't turn off a superpower and expect it to stay off. Because that's what it is. A superpower. And I know that sounds crazy right now. Because right now, your sensitivity feels like a curse. It feels like you're the only one in the room who notices when someone's hurting. The only one who cries at commercials. The only one who can't sleep after watching a sad movie. The only one who feels the energy shift the moment someone walks in. The only one who remembers every word someone said 3 years ago. The only one who carries other people's pain like it's their own. You think that makes you weak. I'm here to tell you it makes you dangerous. Not dangerous to people. Dangerous to darkness. Because the enemy doesn't fear loud people. He doesn't fear angry people. He doesn't even fear smart people. He fears people who feel. Because people who feel can see. And people who can see can expose. And people who can expose can destroy. Let me explain something that will rewire how you see yourself. You were not born sensitive by accident. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It's a frequency. And God tuned you to a frequency that most people can't even hear. You operate on a spiritual bandwidth that picks up what others miss. You feel tension before it becomes conflict. You sense lies before they're spoken. You know when someone is hurting before they open their mouth. You can walk into a room and instantly know who's genuine and who's performing. You read between the lines. You hear what's not said. You see what's hidden. That's not anxiety. That's not overthinking. That's not being dramatic. That's discernment. And discernment is one of the rarest, most powerful gifts a human being can carry. The Bible calls it the spirit of wisdom and understanding. Not intellect. Not education. Not experience. Spirit. Something planted inside you before you ever learned to speak. Think about when you were a child. Before the world taught you to harden. Before people told you to stop crying. Before you learned to perform strength. You felt everything. You cried when others hurt. You laughed with your whole body. You loved without conditions. You trusted without evidence. You saw beauty in things adults walked past. You knew when something was wrong even when everyone said everything was fine. That child was not broken. That child was operating at full capacity. And then the world got to you. And they told you that feeling was weakness. That caring was naivety. That empathy was a liability. And slowly, piece by piece, you shut down. Not all at once. Gradually. Until one day you woke up and realized you couldn't feel the way you used to. And you panicked. Because deep down, you knew that the numbness wasn't peace. It was amputation. You had cut off the part of you that made you flee. But here's the thing. You can't kill what God planted. You can bury it. You can ignore it. You can pretend it's gone. But it's still there. Alive. Waiting. Pushing against the dirt. And every time you cry for no reason, that's it. Every time you feel overwhelmed in a crowd, that's it. Every time you sense something before it happens, that's it. Every time you love someone so hard it scares you, that's it. Your superpower is still alive. And it's getting stronger. Because every season of pain you went through didn't dull your sensitivity. It sharpened it. Every heartbreak didn't make you cold. It made you precise. Every betrayal didn't make you trust less. It made you trust slower but deeper. Every loss didn't make you feel less. It made you feel more intentionally. You're not the same person you were before the pain. You're a refined version. A calibrated version. A weaponized version of the person who used to cry too easily. And that's exactly why heaven made you this way. Let me tell you the spiritual reason behind your sensitivity. Because this is the part that will set you free. God didn't make you feel everything deeply so you could suffer. He made you feel everything deeply so you could heal. Not just yourself. Others. You were designed to be a carrier of emotion. A vessel of empathy. A bridge between heaven and earth. When you feel someone's pain, it's not you being weak. It's God using you as a conduit. He feels it through you. He heals through you. He loves through you. You are His hands extended. His heart exposed. His compassion in motion. Every time you cried for someone who couldn't cry, God was crying through you. Every time you prayed for someone who didn't know how, God was praying through you. Every time you loved someone who didn't deserve it, God was loving through you. You think you were wasting your emotions on the wrong people. You were investing them in the right mission. And heaven kept a record of every single one. This is why sensitive people are so exhausted. Not because they're weak. Because they're doing the work of angels. Carrying the emotional weight of a world that refuses to feel. Holding space for people who don't even know they need it. Absorbing pain that isn't theirs so others don't have to. And nobody thanks you for it. Nobody even notices. Because the work of a sensitive soul is invisible. It happens in silence. In the shower. In the car. At 3 a.m. In the space between a smile and a scream. But God notices. And God is about to reward you for every invisible tear. Now let me tell you what happens when a sensitive person finally stops apologizing for feeling. Because this is where your life changes. Not gradually. Overnight. Number 1. Your relationships transform. Not because you change who you are, but because you stop attracting people who need you to be numb. The moment you embrace your depth, the shallow people leave. And the deep people arrive. People who match your energy. People who don't flinch when you cry. People who don't tell you to calm down when you're passionate. People who see your sensitivity as a gift instead of a problem. These people exist. They've been looking for you. Because the world is full of people who feel nothing. And a person who feels everything is the rarest, most beautiful thing they'll ever find. Number 2. Your purpose becomes clear. Sensitive people don't have one purpose. They have many. Because you can feel so many things, you can help so many people. You'll be the counselor who actually listens. The friend who actually cares. The leader who actually sees. The parent who actually understands. The artist who actually creates from pain. The healer who actually heals because they know what pain feels like. Your sensitivity is not a limitation. It's a launch pad. And the higher you feel, the higher you fly. Number 3. Peace arrives. Not the numb kind. The real kind. The kind that comes when you stop fighting your nature. When you stop trying to be someone you're not. When you finally say, yes, I feel everything. And that's not my weakness. That's my wiring. And my wiring comes from God. And God doesn't make mistakes. That peace will settle into your bones like a warm blanket. And for the first time, you won't feel like you need to escape your own emotions. You'll feel like home. Number 4. Your intuition becomes lethal. You already have it, but it's about to go to another level. You'll walk into a situation and know the outcome before it unfolds. You'll meet someone and know their intention within seconds. You'll hear a story and know where it's headed before the person finishes talking. This isn't magic. This is what happens when a spirit that's been tuned to heaven's frequency stops being muffled by shame. Your discernment was always there. The shame was the static. Remove the static, and the signal becomes crystal clear. Number 5. And this is the one that's going to wreck you. God is going to give you a platform. Not a small one. A big one. Because sensitive people who stop hiding their depth become the voices the world needs most. In a generation that's numb, confused, lost, and starving for real connection, a person who feels everything and says it out loud is a revolution. You're going to speak to millions. Not because you're the loudest. Because you're the most real. And real, in a world of filters and facades, is the most powerful thing you can be. But I need to warn you, because with this superpower comes a cost. And you need to know it before it hits. The cost is this. You will feel pain that others don't feel. You will carry burdens that aren't yours. You will grieve losses that haven't happened yet. You will sense danger when everyone else is celebrating. You will be exhausted when everyone else is energized. You will be alone in a crowd when everyone else feels connected. And people will call you dramatic. They'll call you intense. They'll call you too much. And you'll have to decide every single day whether you're going to let their opinion override your design. You can't. Because the moment you numb yourself to fit in, you kill the very thing that makes you powerful. And the world doesn't need another numb person. The world needs you. Fully. Deeply. Unapologetically. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today. Not tomorrow. Today. Stop saying I'm too sensitive. Start saying I'm spiritually tuned. Stop saying I feel too much. Start saying I'm built for depth. Stop saying I'm too emotional. Start saying I carry heaven's frequency. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Start taking up the space you were designed to fill. Because the people who made you feel like too much were never equipped to handle how much you are. And that's not your problem. That's their capacity issue. You were not made for small rooms. You were made for cathedrals. And a cathedral doesn't apologize for being big. It just stands and lets the light in. Chosen one, I need you to do something right now. Something that's going to feel uncomfortable, but it's going to change everything. Type, I feel everything in the comments. Type it with your chest. Type it like a declaration. Share this video. Right now. With that friend who cries at everything. That sister who feels too much. That brother who's been told he's too soft. That mom who carries everyone's pain. That dad who hides his tears. Send it to them. Because they need to hear that their sensitivity is not a disease. It's a divine assignment. And they're not broken. They're built different. And built different is exactly what this world needs. And subscribe. Turn on the bell. Because the next video I'm going to tell you the 5 things that happen to sensitive people when they finally stop people-pleasing. Chosen one. You were not given a heart that bleeds easily so you could suffer. You were given a heart that bleeds easily so you could love fiercely. So you could heal deeply. So you could see clearly. So you could feel what heaven feels. And that capacity, that depth, that beautiful, exhausting, powerful sensitivity, that is your superpower. Stop hiding it. Stop numbing it. Stop apologizing for it. The world is full of people who feel nothing. Be the one who feels everything. And watch what God does with a heart that refuses to go numb. You were made for depth. You were made for impact. You were made to feel the world so you can change it. Now go. Feel everything. And don't you dare stop. Fire.